an entrepreneur by passion. His core strength lies in transforming businesses, getting them ready for the digital era, and leveraging the new age tech. His profile can be wrapped up in three, two, and one. He says 3.5 decade avatars have been about building scalable consumer internet products, innovation, change management, and creating a differentiated monetization and business models. Two, the things he takes pride in are his ability to learn, unlearn, relearn, and putting method to madness. And that's where his experience helps him to make to take bootstrapped and digital product chaos head on, efficiently and effectively. And he translates his learnings on unsuccessful projects, pivoting startups, and path breaking work that make him a real vibrant storyteller and an award winning digital leader, both fused into one. And one out of the three, two, one is his humor and his wit. So I hand over the mantle to you, Harshit. Please take it forward from here.
Thanks so much, Hema, for this such a wonderful introduction. And like she mentioned, I mean, good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all of you TGS fans across the globe for tuning in onto this live session. I have had a fantastic time listening to some of my previous sessions, and I'm privileged to have these three amazing trailblazer women entrepreneurs with me who need no introduction. If you Google them up, first 3 pages are all just about them, and please take liberty to connect with them over LinkedIn. Given their illustrious careers and all the path they have taken to get to this point, the only thing I could do to match them is have a live background, which is Mumbai Sea Link for all you guys to drool over. And other than that, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to waste any further time to do introductions because they would run into pages. I'm going to pick up some keywords from their illustrious careers and start in no particular order. Aisha, can we start with you if that's okay?
Absolutely.
Sure. So, Aisha, one quick thing which I noticed about you and the venture when I was reading up is not just the journey, but the pace at which you have done this journey in terms of making a mark for yourself and your venture and the kind of path-making things Adu AI has been doing. So tell us a little bit about that before I jump into my second question. And I would love to hear some more story from you about that.
Thank you so much for having me here. And I think that it's always what appears in the marketing materials or in the bios. It seems to have happened very quickly. But as any entrepreneur will tell you, it's actually accumulation of years of work and interest in a particular field. I have been working in artificial intelligence in New York on Wall Street. My PhD involved the review of an artificial intelligence powered transport system in Germany. And then I came to Singapore where I advised some of the ministries and future skills, and then began to think, you know what I was doing in New York, I want to do something similar here as well, which is build these huge data platforms for some of the leading telcos, hospital networks, government agencies, banks, insurance companies in Asia. And actually now we're expanding back to the US. But I think it's really a function of two things. Number one, the timing. I've been in this field for a long time. The timing is now right because of the increase in computational power, the huge explosion in data, and the great interest that companies have because they're challenged by startups, by challenger banks. And these enterprise companies who are our clients finally see that in order to remain competitive, they do need to use data as a strategic asset. And the second thing is, I think I have a great team. Anybody who's done technology or data or AI would know technology is a team sport. Because there are 6 to 7 roles just in a small AI team, let alone a larger AI firm, it's impossible for any superstar to do all of them. And so I have been very lucky to surround myself by people who are not only smarter than me in AI, but just awesome, creative, out of the box thinkers. And some of our clients are so interesting and have such great ideas and vision because they have all this domain knowledge from years of being in the industry, and now finally they can unleash their imagination. And so for me, I think these couple of things, it may seem overnight, but all of us have been on this journey, and now, thank God, the time is really right for the kind of stuff that we do.
Fantastic, Aisha. And uh, very important keywords: market conditions to time it right, and team. My next question is, if I look at your profile, London School of Economics, Artificial Intelligence, Singapore Police Force, World Economic Forum, how do you handle such a deadly concoction? I mean, just share with us your journey across all these phases and how that helps you leverage this current venture.
Well, I think I've always been interested in two things. One is contributing back to whichever country I'm living in, but especially now I'm a citizen of Singapore. So it means a lot to me to bring my knowledge. And so I am on the board of the IMDA, which is the equivalent of Ministry of Technology of the country. And we are, the board with it's a great team, and there are the digital architects, so the architects of Singapore's digital future and digital economy. So it's been a great pleasure to work and work with them and see the work they're doing. I'm also on the board of Sports Singapore, which actually creates a holistic sports culture for the country, and that's important because every techie will tell you it's not good enough just to be an engineer or a techie. You have to be physically healthy, mentally healthy as well. And the Singapore Police Force, I'm just a volunteer for my neighborhood patrols. And the World Economic Forum invited me to be part of their Global Future Councils. So I joined. Each one of these things does not take more than a few hours a month at maximum, but it gives me the opportunity to give my advice and input into things that I really care about, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. So I think the key here is just being open to whatever comes your way, and people notice and then they invite you, and I really think of it as a huge privilege, and I'm so grateful for that.
Thank you so much for those inputs, Aisha. Allow me to circle back to you once I go a little bit round robin through the room. Aditi, if I can go next with you, if you can unmute. Aditi, your journey has been equally inspiring and exciting, given the fact that you literally stood outside Rattan Tata, who is kind of one of the best known names in the country, and got to have time with him, and then subsequently a check which he cut out for you. Um, Tell us a little bit about that, and then I'll jump on to the next question I already have for you.
Okay. How Ratan Tata, why Ratan Tata? Because ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to do something different. So when I got into this venture of changing the energy distribution of the world, I thought, while we're doing it, can we do something which is beyond I, me, and myself? So we wanted to dedicate our business to the country. It's very funny when I talk this to my friends, they all laugh at us, me and Chetan, they're like, you know what, who talks about this anymore? But then one name came in our mind that, who's done something for India, with his business. So we just did some writing on the paper, and we said, write one name. And my husband Chetan and I, we both wrote Ratan Tata. And I said, okay, chalo, let's meet him. And he looked at me and he told me, you know what, he does not live next door, that let's meet him. So we just took a car, went outside his house, and we made a like 3D 15 kg model, and we slipped letters to him. You know what? So we have an idea where we can change the world, we can change India's energy distribution, and we want your 15 minutes. And it was very stupid, 3 years ago, because no one believed us, not even our father and mother. They're like, it's such a stupid idea. Please get out of the house. And luckily, he called us in and said, I want to know that how you want to change India. Please come in. After waiting for 18 hours, and we were still that energetic that we'll come again tomorrow and wait again 18 hours for him. To whoever you all are listening, please, it's not recommended. Don't wait outside his house; he'll kill me. Then next day, when we went to his house and we started with, what do we want to do? And the meeting went on for 4 hours, and we said, "Sir, you know what? We don't want money. We don't want investment." He's like, "That's stupid because startups comes to me for investment." I said, "Sir, we already have money. Tell us how do we use it for the betterment of people, and how do we use it to change India and take India on the global map?" And yeah, those 4 hours turned into giving his number, exchanging phone numbers, and he said, "Please be in touch." Then he roped in all his contacts. 2 years down the line, he said, "I started with you by giving you my number, and you've built an entire empire, in just 2 years. So please give me an opportunity to invest in you." And we just looked like, "Sir, investment does not come like that. We were told that, you need to sign a term sheet, there's due diligence and everything." He's like, "I don't know, but just looking at you, the passion what you guys carry, and executing was very important for the last 2 years." And he said, "Please take away the check from my office, and that's my token funds." So yeah, in short, this happened, and we were thrilled. It just happened last year, and I still get goosebumps talking about it. So yeah, that was about it.
Fantastic story, I must say. And um, taking a cue from what you are saying, the sector in which you are and what you do, I'm sure if you look at energy sector and women entrepreneurs, this is like chalk and cheese, right? How did you zero in on this sector, and by virtue of your venture, how do you plan to make a dent onto this entire space?
Right. So to be very honest, like I told you, I always wanted to do something different and especially do those things which I was told I cannot do. So, when I started on this, I got married to Chetan 3 years ago, and we took away the luxury from walking away from our family businesses. We said we want to do something different. Let's solve a global problem. Because the day we got married, we dedicated our lives, beyond I, me, and myself. Like, let's stop thinking what's in it for me. And we thought there's a big global problem that everyone is facing is global warming. So we said, can we do something, to reduce carbon emissions from our side? And Chetan has businesses of petrol pumps and petroleum sector. So it happened to be that one of the fuel station which he owns, we just observed that we were very surprised. 75% of the fuel, to be very honest, diesel that comes in India is used for B2B section. And the way they procure it is very tedious. And more important, if I need 1,000 liters of fuel for my building, I send in some barrels to nearest fuel station, procure it, come back, unload it. I'm burning carbon dioxide and I'm burning diesel just to get diesel. I'm creating pollution. We said, can we redefine the way diesel is procured? So he's like, okay, like energy sections, we'll go into all kinds of energy. So we made a platform, an energy, a marketplace where an end user can order energy on the phone, and the vehicle, which is a special purpose vehicle, will come and deliver to you. So we've made an innovation, revolutionary innovation, which is a mobile fuel station, which is equipped with technologies of Internet of Things, which talks to your phone, and anyone can place an order and it comes to you. So to answer your question, do I like it? Was it my dream to come in the section, energy, fuel, and all? No, it wasn't. To be very honest, I never had any business degree to come into this. So we thought, can we reduce carbon emissions first, starting with diesel? All kinds of energy in the world, to be very electric, CNG, gases, all the things. Can we distribute through an e-commerce platform? So that was the goal. And we live by this
Fantastic.
principle that do what's needed to be done. So,
Fantastic.
I don't like, if I like energy, no. It's just that it's needed and we are doing it. Even if I'm in a mood or not in a mood, it needs to be done. So,
Sure,
yeah, I
sure.
think that's
Thanks
it.
for all those inputs, and I'll change gears and move on to a new continent altogether. Alima, thanks for joining us. I know we have been fortunate to have you tuning in at odd hours for you and for you to make time for this. I'll quickly jump on to a sector which you are inclined in, Alima. I know you have been kind of persistent to be on this call given the lights went out at your end, but thank you for joining in. Tell us a little bit about your venture and what do you plan to do. And I'm quite impressed with the livestock and the kind of things you are envisaging for your venture. So please tell us about that. Alima, you might be on mute. We can't hear you well. Can other panelists hear Alima? I don't think so. Alima, if you might have to be a little louder and come closer to the mic if you can.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah,
Yes,
Alima, you're
we
audible
can
now.
start hearing you now.
Okay.
We are losing you out, Alima. I don't know if others can hear her. I can't hear her for sure.
I tell you at the point of. Hello?
You're audible, Alima. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, there is a lag, but please go ahead. We are listening to you. Hema, can you guys hear her? I'm finding it difficult to grasp what
No,
she's.
Alima's not audible.
Okay.
Maybe you
So,
can.
Alima, what I'll do is I'll come back to you with your question one more time. Just give me a couple of minutes. I'll circle back to Aisha. Aisha, it was fantastic to learn about what you aspire for and how you want to contribute back. Uh, what are the three things women in entrepreneurship should keep in mind to scale their ventures, given the fact that we learned from you that you have had a long background to being in artificial intelligence and have been working in this space. And once you have had your venture, it's been almost like a hockey stick curve for you in terms of the growth and the kind of dent you have made. So please share with us what are those nuggets for women entrepreneurs.
I think all entrepreneurs will have a similar experience. One is, you have to have a big vision, but you have to move forward every day. And that is very key for an entrepreneur to go between your dream but constant active execution. And that execution, you will constantly be prototyping and thinking of ideas in what works. So you break things fast, as Mark Zuckerberg says, and move on and keep trying to move forward. And the anchor that keeps you forward is not only your own vision, but the customer. So when in doubt, when you're looking at cash flow, you're looking at investors, or you're questioning yourself, if you remember the vision, but even as importantly, the customer that is benefiting from this, and you try to focus on making it something for them, then that is something that helps you scale, because product market fit only happens not because you have some great idea, but because somebody in the market really values that idea. And I think another thing for scalability, obviously, is definitely the venture capital route, being able to be articulate, express yourself, make a case, show the evidence, and then have the cloud and other kinds of computational infrastructure, which is precisely what we do for our clients, build it out so they can rapidly take an idea and then go across a country, across a region, and it's almost seamless and instantaneous. So I think these couple of things are very important. For women, it's important to continue to have confidence in themselves, and to surround themselves by people who admire their ideas and admire each other for their grit and resilience. So these are just some of the things that are really important. And it doesn't have that much to do with academic brilliance or anything else. It really has to do with grit and perseverance.
Sure. And you want to name a few of your inspirations for us to kind of keep those as anchor role models when people who have tuned in across the globe can then have those as their favorites and get inspired from them?
And absolutely, I find that people like Elon Musk I'm hugely inspired by him and by Jeff Bezos. I think both of them are relentless, both in their huge ambitions. And it was fantastic to hear Aditi talk about her and her husband. But that's precisely, you can just feel it coming through, their passion for it, and yet they are very meticulous execution of it. That is the kind of person that is going to be very successful and continue to grow and innovate with the market. And apart from this, for me, it's very important that everything is not rosy with AI, that I'm constantly keeping an eye on manipulation and bias and anything else that it can bring. So I follow the AI Institute of NYU and a lot of people who think about AI and ethics, because for every technology, VR, IoT, AI, it can go one way or the other. And it's really about the humans who are guiding it that is so important, to have your morality at the core of what you do every day.
Sure. Thank you so much, Aisha. I think Alima has dropped in and hopefully she'll join back in. Meanwhile, Aditi, I'll go with the next question for you. If I look at this overall uh, energy as a sector, I'm sure you would have thought through it a little bit more in detail when you would have thought about the market, how you are going to address this market, and some of that. Uh,
Right.
this primarily is government, pseudo government kind of sector, right? And I'm sure every other day you talk to your prospects, you hit one of these two sections. And these, not just in India, across the globe, will have some bit of bureaucracy, some bit of dilly dallying, and I'm sure there are policy changes required. How do you get the courage to kind of take something like this head on, and how do you actually navigate this day in and out?
So I think, yeah, very interesting question. Because advantages of being in your 20s, not knowing anything, not having a business degree, and stepping into a business model that's altogether new.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is, on day one, it's new, so it's never been done. So how can anyone know? So day one, we decided we will not take anyone's perception about government. So everyone told us, everyone who's who, bureaucrats, they told it's impossible. You have to change the government policy. You have to get it amended in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, both the houses. You have to talk to the prime minister. I said, okay, great, we'll do that. And people like, you're crazy. You know, no one will entertain you. So we said, okay, let's go, let's do it. And to be very honest, the limitations are all in our mind. So when we went, we wrote letters, we wrote physical letters, we wrote emails to the government, and we understood one thing. When you have a dream, that's little larger than your life. It will impact a lot of people. Government is interested. This is a perception what the other business people have told us, that no. But trust me, our mails got answered. We got calls from the prime minister's office. We even got the policy passed. We were on the task force, just because of this one belief that if you have a dream that's very large, you're ready to execute it, you're ready to give your heart and soul. I think the universe helps you, and government is just a part of it. And the government also wants the same things. So, government, if you align with what the government wants, trust me, we've been helped by the government in and out from the central ministry. And I think we're here to break the stereotypes that, you can't do it. The government will not help you. So we got it done very effortlessly. It might sound like some magical thing, but trust me, getting a policy passed, we got it done very effortlessly. So yeah.
Fantastic. And tell me something more. I mean, when you have gone that far, and then when it comes to market and things which are related to customers picking up this idea and you trying to see it from the lens of the customer,
Right.
how do you look at it? And maybe you can have your answer ready, but just because
Yeah.
we have got Alima quickly, I would want to tune into her and I'll circle back to you for that question.
Sure, sure. I think, yeah, right.
Alima, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. And we can hear you loud and clear. So, one thing which I was kind of quite excited about is the livestock and the last mile, that too in Africa, right? So, tell us a bit about your journey and how you zeroed in on what you wanted to do and how you have been braving all odds, keeping up with it, and making sure you get your vision to fruition.
Mhm. So
And
I
maybe if you
happen
want
to
to
be a 20.
put your video on off, I think it'll just help the audio.
Okay, all right. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So I happen to be a trained teacher and a journalist, but I find myself solving a decades-long veterinary problem. Peter and I set up Cow Tribe out of curiosity and determination. For every single family in rural part of Ghana, they mostly keep livestock, which includes our families as well. So we grew up in these families with a very high level of intimacy, livestock, just like how you are with your pets. But mind you, we don't keep them for fun. We actually, or no companionship, but we keep them for food and paying our school fees and other urgent household needs. So it hurts so bad to see these animals die on a daily basis without any help. And this was not just our parents. Um, it was a community problem. It was a nationwide problem. And eventually we found out it's an African problem and it transcending beyond African families. And this is because access to preventive livestock vaccines and other inputs is out of reach due to the far locations that more people find themselves in, and it is difficult. And not even, there's no market incentive for distributors to struggle and trekking rough roads to reach these farmers. So the most product that they access in the open market are mostly even fake or substandard because they are put under the sun, which actually compromises the integrity of these products that they acquire. And our solution is just a simple combination of logistics and simple technology solutions through a demand aggregation model. But of course, when we were starting this, it didn't come without any challenge, without challenges, both from our families and our friends, particularly at a time that we had used all our personal savings on IDs. We could not even afford to pay the few people that were working with us. We could not afford to meet our family responsibilities. But deep down our hearts, we knew it was the right cause for us to chat because we knew this problem has to be solved anyways. It has to be solved by some, and it has to be solved someday. But we did not have the time to wait too long for someone to come and solve this problem because it's been there for decades. And so we wanted to be the people that find a sustainable solution to a decades-long life problem. And so 3 years down the line, we have made over 38,000 deliveries to farmers in over 300 communities where we work in northern part of Ghana. And this has led us to increase vaccine uptake in our communities up to 70%, and this creates demand for vaccines and related livestock inputs. Of course, this didn't come very easy for us because there is no even a name for vaccine in our local languages. And this means farmers did not even have idea of what a preventive vaccine was. So we had to invest so much in educating these people, sensitizing them to begin to understand the importance of vaccines before we were able to increase demand and access for vaccines and related livestock inputs. We realized that even the problem was much bigger than we anticipated. And that is from the supply side, ranging from frequent stockouts to price hikes, suppliers' inability to have visibility and respond to demand quickly. And this made the problem even worse. So now we are exploring how to ensure we have them in the country in the first place. We then move up on the supply issues, buying products from the suppliers to build a safety net that can be accessible to agrovets that are serving these farmers through a subsidiary called Tribe that is involved in inventory banking. This also meant that we needed to recalibrate our technology to accommodate the shift to receive orders from agrovets to be able to aggregate demand for agrovest. So we put a homogeneous platform called Zulia, specifically just manages inventory, particularly for livestock pharmaceuticals. And that allows us to be able to have enough visibility and insight to be able to forecast, and then we can source 3 to 6 months inventory that we will be able to distribute and solve the issue of stock out.
Sure. So Alima,
And
before we have Aisha drop off, I just wanted to do a quick roundup on a couple of questions which are like rapid fire questions. If you are okay, we can continue with you and Aditi because Alisha is going to leave us soon. So to all three of you, one quick question. In these times, does glass ceiling exist for women? Just a quick answer, yes or no. Aisha?
No.
Aditi?
No, definitely no.
Alima?
No.
No.
Perfect. And is being a unicorn more important nowadays than being more profitable? Alima, you first. Alima, could you hear us? Aditi, you want to go with your answer?
Yeah, I think if I'm profitable, it's only I am profitable. If I'm a unicorn, the entire ecosystem is profitable. So I'll go with being a unicorn is important.
Okay. Aisha, your take?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there is a long time when you're building a business that, especially if it's revolutionary, it takes time to become profitable. And if you punish people very early on in terms of just profitability, then you're not venture capitalists and you're not moving the whole ecosystem exactly that we set forward.
Thanks so much for that response, Aisha. Alima, on to your last question, which I wanted to understand from you. I mean, can you tell us how women should be looking at this impact entrepreneurship space? Because I think this is picking up very well, and the kind of compassionate vision which you talked about, I'm sure quite a lot of us feel that, but every once in a while we kind of drag our feet to take up a bold vision and do something more in the impact space. So tell us a little bit more, and Aisha, please take the liberty of logging off when it's the right time for you. But we will definitely look forward to keeping in touch. Alima, over to you.
Okay, sure. So for me, I think that women have no reason to stay back in the development of a simple majority of the world's population, and by our natural responsibility to give to others, we have the responsibility, if not to lead, to significantly contribute to creating a sustainable future that we wish for our children to live in. For some unexplainable reasons, women tend to fear failures and may easily give up when it seems tough. But if we focus in putting structures, systems, and processes, clarifying the vision, and understanding the reason why we even want to start a venture, then that will be a motivating factor for us not to easily give up when the going gets tough. For Peter and I, it's an honor and a privilege to be serving rural farmers through Cow Tribe. It's not just a business of economics, but it's a cause to find proven and sustainable solution to increase millions of farmers' access to affordable and quality inputs and reduce livestock mortality. And this is a reason I cannot give up. I feel everyone looks up to me. The employees we have, over 70 employees we currently have, looks up to me and my partner. The families who depend on these employees looks up to me and my partner. The farmers who we currently serve looks up to us. And so we just need to stay strong and continue to support the livelihoods of people that create sustainable societies for people to live in. So I think women would find reason why they need to participate in the development of our society.
I mean, these are such inspiring words, Alima, honestly. And hats off to all the three women entrepreneurs who I have had the privilege to talk to today. Aditi, I know your question is hanging, but I'm just mindful of time. I would like to wrap our session in next 30 seconds in terms of what I learned from each one of you. Having a vision as bold as you can and living up to some of those dreams. Aditi, like you mentioned, anything which you are taking for granted in terms of something may or may not happen, or your prejudices and how world works, please throw them out of the window and make sure you try it all by yourself. And Alima, to your point, we definitely should be trying to have a vision which is compassionate, because that, I think, will help you have long sustainable vision, and you will think about the larger ecosystem for everyone to kind of benefit from. With that learnings, I will definitely look forward to each one of you, and would love to stay in touch. I'm sure Tai can facilitate any of the questions any of you participants have, to be redirected to any of these women entrepreneurs who have been such a fantastic inspiration to all of us. And we can definitely facilitate a handshake as well if need be. Hema, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Harshit. Great questions. Thank you for being on the panel, Dr. Aisha Khanna Doshi is logged off, Aditi Bhosle Walanj, and Alima Bawa. It's been great hearing all of you. Thank you very much. And yeah, we stop the session.